When you play the Game of Thrones, you
Subscribe and like.
or you die. There is no middle ground.
Alright, hello YouTube. So, we're back on the Grease Goblins channel. And I'm kind of dealing with, like, being sick right now. So my voice is kind of shoddy at the moment. But, yeah. Thankfully, I've already recorded all the videos for this week. So you shouldn't notice. But, yeah. So, this is just going to be a quick, fun little video I decided to do. I wanted to do a, which Song of Ice and Fire character I am. So if you want to see more Song of Ice and Fire content from me, this one's not like the biggest one, but subscribe, like, do all the normal stuff. And let's get into it. Also, this is a cry for help. I wonder when this was made. I'm just curious. If you guys didn't know, my name is Eric. So, yeah, fun factoid. Which one are you? Earth, fire, water, or air? I'm mostly made of water, so we're gonna go with that. Put a Richard Sykin quote that you relate to. Sorry. You want something to chase you, run. You see, I take the parts that I remember and stitch them back together to make a creature that will do it. No. I'm singing now while Rome burns. Okay, this is Littlefinger. If you answer that one, that's Littlefinger. Other things we invent when we are scared and want to be rescued. I feel like this is Sansa. I used to think that if I dug deep enough to discover something sad and ugly, I'd know it was something true. Vanity makes you say things like, I deserved a better life than this. You'd break your heart to make it bigger. In the wrong light, anyone can look like a darkness. How much can change? I don't like these quotes at all, honestly, but I'm gonna go that one. It's the only one that, like, kind of, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, but yeah, alright, those quotes are actually pretty bad. What is the biggest L of quarantine so far? I don't understand how this would change. If you're in quarantine, or if you're not in quarantine, you're still going to live with your parents if you can't financially move out. All the plans I had to put on hold. I would, so far I would say it's the boring one. Feeling powerless. I mean, yeah. Slipping into destructive habits. So I'm not actually in quarantine anymore, but this actually is a good one because you tend to, like, not get out and stuff. And numb and hopeless, no. Losing my now. So I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna just say it was boring. I think I soaked in up more YouTube content when we were actually in quarantine than any other time in my life. What's your favorite theme of A Song of Ice and Fire? True Knights, no. The gender of it all, I don't know. That sounds kind of like a very, like, I don't know. That just sounds political. Men's lives have meanings, not their deaths. See, here's the thing. This is not... I don't understand where this came from. Because men's lives have meanings, yes, but their deaths do too. Like, if you look at Ned, his death started the entire thing. Family. Found, betrayed, or lost. That's kind of funny. Physical change affecting internal change. That's actually a good one, because I want to relate to Jamie as well as a number of other characters. The powerless becoming powerful. That's a good one. Because that one's just talking about, like, the people... And kind of how, how, like, the High Sparrow says, apart, one person, we're not that powerful. But when people realize that they control the power, like, Varys says, men believe power. I'm kind of messing up the quote. But people believe power is where it resides. I messed up the quote really bad, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. The death of innocence. Yeah, revenge. See, revenge is a theme of A Song of Ice and Fire that actually is not good, because it usually doesn't work out the best. I'm going to say this one, because I really like Jamie's character, and I think that is a really good theme. Pick a relatable quote. Pick a relatable quote from Les Mis Media that also makes me go insane. You who suffer because you love still more. To die of love is to live by it. Okay? But there are dreams that cannot be, and there are storms we cannot weather. There is nothing like a dream to create the future. If the soul is left in darkness, sins will be committed. The guilty one is not he who commits the sin, but he who causes... That's a good one. I actually really like that. Not being heard is no reason for silence. Yeah, that's actually decent as well. I like that quote. The future has several names. For the weak, it is impossible. For the faint-hearted, it is unknown. But for the valiant, it is ideal. Okay, that's interesting. The red, the world about to dawn. Black, the night that ends at last. I know a place where no one's lost. My heart is stone and still it trembles. Civil war. What does that mean? Is there any foreign wars? Isn't every war fought between men and between brothers? I'm gonna do the soul one. I think that's the one that hits me the hardest. Choose in a Song of Ice and Fire quote. Kind. How boring that would be. I aspire to be wicked. Do you dare to fly? Unless you take the leap, you'll never know. My skin has turned to porcelain, to ivory, to steel. Rhaegar fought valiantly, Rhaegar fought nobly, Rhaegar fought honorably, and Rhaegar died. That's a very good one. Why is it always the innocents who suffer most when you High Lords play your Game of Thrones? That's a good one by Varys. Better to mock the game than to play and lose. The wolves will come again. I actually really like these two. These two are probably my favorite of these. I'm gonna say this one, because it kind of, in essence, summarizes A Song of Ice and Fire in general. That honor is usually the way you die, and making bad decisions. What do you remember from your childhood? Not belonging, living in my head, wishing people would take me seriously, dreaming of the future, bearing the weight of expectations, trying to understand myself, feeling like I was over my peers' heads, wondering if I was a disappointment, being understood. So I don't... This question with the answers they gave me is pretty easy, because I'm an only child, so being under sibling shadow doesn't really... The big one I would say would be bearing the weight of expectations, because I'm my parents' only child, so if I'm a fuck up, then they're technically a fuck up. So, yeah, it's definitely that one. But even when I was a child, out of these, I really didn't think about the stuff like that. But if it was going to be one, it'd be that one. What's most important to you? Staying true to what is right. Living up to what I know I can be. That's a good one. Loving and being loved. Understanding my place in the world. I feel like you can pretty much be anything in the world as long as you stay committed to it and stuff. Making a name for myself. Nah, that one really doesn't matter. Staying kind. So, a while ago, I might have said this one, but the way people treat each other in this world, staying kind sometimes is not a good thing. Maintaining my self-worth. So your self-worth is always depicted by you. I don't know if this is saying by everybody else or just you. Being exactly who I am. Again, very vague here. I don't know if they're trying to say who you are right now, because you can change as a person, and staying that same person usually isn't actually healthy. Looking toward the future is always it's a good and a bad thing, in my opinion. Making the world better. Very hard to do, but that is a good one. I would say these two are the best ones. Staying true to what is right is usually a very hard thing to do, because it's something that George explores a lot in the show. Or not the show, the books. I always do that when I do these videos. But I would say this one, just because that's kind of what I try to be, even though it's kind of hard to do. But again, that morals are sometimes, sometimes you don't really know what the right choice is. But I would say it would be this one. I also like this choice as well, because this is more about you. It's not everybody else. It's living up to what you know you can be. So like for me, I like to make content and stuff. And sometimes I look at my content and I'm like, I can do better. And just like, do some things that are different. Like, for instance, simple things like adding in like a subscribe feature where like you see that pop up on every video. I always thought that would be a better thing to implement and stuff. What's your best trait? Resilience? Not really. Independence? I am good at being alone, but wit? I wouldn't say wit. Ambition? Definitely not. Like, I have goals and stuff, but I wouldn't say like I'm a very ambitious person. Righteousness? Passion? I think passion's a good one because, like, if you look at a lot of my goals and stuff, when I do set my mind on things, I am very passionate about them and I try to put a lot of into them. Devotion, eh. Selflessness, I would have used, I probably would have said this one a while ago, but I've kind of changed a little bit. Adaptability, eh. I would say out of these options, like, I don't feel like these are good options for what I would say I would be, because if it said, like, loyal or, like, trustworthy or something like that, I probably would have picked those, but the rest of these were kind of eh. What's your biggest flaw? I think a lot of my... no, definitely not that one. I can be naive. Sometimes, depending on what, you know, I'm insecure on certain things, yes. I hold grudges. Yeah, I do hold grudges. So, if you know, if anybody of you that are watching know me in real life, I do hold grudges on people. But yeah. I can be ruthless. I can be, but I often don't know when enough is enough. That's a good one, actually. Because sometimes this actually does apply to me. I'm very guarded. So, I don't think that's a flaw, actually. Because I would say I'm a guarded... I used to not be as guarded, but I am a very guarded person now on who I trust and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't think that's a flaw. I think it's not a good thing to always be telling everything to everybody and that everybody knows everything about you. I think that's a kind of a bad thing in my opinion. Again, being opportunistic is not a bad flaw. Knowing when you can, like, improve or something like that, or, you know, do something. Like, yes, this couldn't be a bad to other people, but sometimes it's actually a decent thing. I tend to shirk blame. Yeah, that's a bad one. I don't think I do that, but I'm not always grounded in what's realistic. So this, again, is not a bad one. I don't think this is a flaw. Like, it can be, but it's not a flaw. Because setting your expectations high is usually a good thing, because it shows you what you want to, you know, reach. Like, for this channel, right, I have realistic goals, but I always, like, when I'm, you know, ever, I'm like, should I, you know, upload this, or I want to take a break, I'm like, you know, keep working at it so, you know, you can build a community and all this stuff and reach those goals that you want to hit. Like, right now, right, my big overarching goal is to get to where I'm basically partnered with YouTube, which is like 1,000 subs or whatever. As well as, but that's not really my goal right now. My goal is like every 100 subscribers in increments is basically my goal. And we've been hitting that really quickly, actually. So thank you guys for that. But yeah, again, I just explained why I don't think that's actually that bad of a thing. I would say I hold grudges, and I have reasons, and in some ways, I don't think this is a flaw, but it is a flaw at the same time. What is the biggest flaw in the show? So this is in the show, not in the books. And all meant nothing. Yes, I would agree. Plot hole is randomly dropped, unexplained. So this would also mean that people can't change. Well, okay, I know what they're saying. They're saying Jamie, basically, because Jamie at the end doesn't really change. But some characters did actually change, but just for the worst. Trauma as positive character development. Yeah, okay. Simplified female. Why doesn't this should just say simplified characters? I'm noticing there's a little bit of like a kind of a feminist trend here, which doesn't make sense to me. Because it should just say simplified characters, but collective IQ very good. So I think this one just entails all of these because it all happened because of these. Thoughts on family? This is a tough question. Because I wouldn't say I have the strong... that's not what I'm clicking, by the way. I'm just going to put that for now. I would have the strongest with my biological family. I don't really talk to most of my dad's side of the family. So... But if I'm considering, like, I consider, like, my close friends family. So if we're talking about that, where it's like people actually do consider family, then yeah, it's probably the most important thing. That's probably gonna give me Stark, I feel like. Brienne of Tarth. I don't agree. I don't agree. So Brienne, I see why they gave me Brienne of Tarth. But Brienne of Tarth is more like a hero type. And I guess look at the answers that I answered with, and I understand why they gave me Brienne. I just don't agree, personally. All right, we're going to do one more. Okay, we're going to cut to me doing a second one because I don't agree with this, in my opinion. But, you know, it's fine. Let me know if what you guys get. The quiz will be in the link. All right, so this is going to be number 2. This one's actually a whole site, I guess, built to this. So far, I've looked at the questions. I think this is interesting, but let's get into it. So, like a good party. I'm not a party person. I just kind of like hanging out with my friend group and just chilling, having bonfires and stuff. I'm not really a party person. Because it says a good party, I'm assuming that means like bigger parties and stuff. So I'm gonna say not much. Is social justice important to you? So I'm gonna actually change this question to, am I like a political person? I try to stay out of politics. I kind of realized that the more I cared about politics and stuff, it negatively affected my outlook on the world and stuff. And so I would say at this point, I just try to stay away from it at this point. Romantic. So I've never actually been in an actual relationship. So the things I think I would do, I would say yes, but I don't know, actually. Nice looking. Let me know in the comments. Do you think I'm nice looking? People don't really tell me so we're gonna say no. Promiscuous. We're gonna say no. Get angry easily. No. It takes me a while for me to actually get really angry at people to where I actually like start an argument or something like that. But yeah. Brave. I would say I'm in the middle. I wouldn't say I'm a brave person, but I wouldn't say I'm like a scaredy cat. So I mean, this says usually, so we'll go usually, fine. Complain a lot. I'm gonna say no, but I complain a lot as in like in my head I complain a lot. I don't know. I don't really talk to people a lot in complaining. Always looking to the future or the past. Definitely the past. I'm someone that struggled with like getting caught up in the past for a while, and the grudge thing. Definitely I have problems trusting people after things they do in the past. So yeah. Great sense of humor. It's not one of my best traits. Definitely not me. Hey, people, I don't know what that... I mean, people do laugh. I'll do that one. Yeah, I definitely want children. I would want 2 children. I don't want to get any farther than that, though. Like to put up a good fight. I've never been in a fight. But then, see, they don't say... If it comes to it, right? Like, say somebody, like, was being a douche to one of my friends or something like that. I would be there. Honor is important. I do think honor is important, but it's something that is not on my top priorities, so. Like, I do not like to have power, no. I am someone that does not like to be put in power positions. Impulsive? No, not really. Yes. Loyal? I'm very loyal. Good communication. So, when communicating with people I don't know, I would say not really, but I'm pretty good at communicating with people I do know, and as well as I feel like I can do speeches pretty well and stuff like that. So I'll say pretty good for just that, but if we're talking about like random people being put in awkward situations, I would say not really. Considerate of others, yes. Yeah. Willing to cooperate, yes. Deprived of what you deserve. I would say not really. Willing to learn? Yes. So this brings up something I love to see. I love learning from your guys' theories and stuff, so that's definitely one of those. Athletic. So you guys might be surprised, but I would say I'm athletic. I'm maybe not as athletic as I used to be, but I used to be really good at sports and stuff. So I'm gonna say yes. Good with people. I would see, this is where I'm going to say no, because it says with people, and with normal people and stuff, I'd be like, I don't really like talking. I just, like, I don't know. It's not my thing. Like to travel. I don't travel very often, and I usually don't like it because I am someone that only likes to sleep on my bed, and, like, at my temperature. I'm very particular when I try to sleep, basically. See, this, I don't like these questions where it's like, you're generous or you're basically a stooge. I'd be in the middle, but I'll say that. I'd rather keep it than be generous. Willing to do justice. Yeah, I think justice is important. Were you admired as a youth? I don't know what that means. I'm gonna say no. Is romance with someone older than you appealing? I would... I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter, but, like, I don't know how much they're talking for older, so I'm gonna say not really. I like nice clothes, yes. Tend to bear... Yes, I do. Ruthless... I mean, Scruffy looking? No, I just got done shaving. I have no facial hair right now. I could, but I hate facial hair, to be honest. Care about reputation? I would say I used to, but no, I really don't care. Practical and down to earth? I'd say I'm in the middle, but I'll say yes. I'll lean yes. Patient and seeking revenge? Yes. When it comes to people I don't like, I usually... Yeah, I don't know. Regarding sex, it's great, but I won't... So, okay, before we go any further with this question. Oh my god, I just saw this. Wow. Wow. Okay, this question... Alright, we're gonna... So, my thing on sex is, I think there's either... I have two things for myself. Now, again, I don't care what anyone else does. That's your own opinion or views. I am someone that is religious, so... Waiting till marriage, or it has to be somebody that I do really like, I love, or somebody I'm going to be with. I'm not a person for hookups or any of that stuff. Dude, I am seeing some fuck shit. Dude, what? I can't even say that. I literally can't even say that because somebody would clip that. So, hold on. I'm not gonna read these. So far, it'd be this one. I could also do that one. Okay, so I would say for me, it would be that one. Someday I will find the perfect partner. Okay, who am I? I'm Ned. I'll take that. But I could definitely see that, but my thing with Ned is more of like a stupidly loyal and stuff like that, which is why I don't like that this question went to extremes. But I'm happier with Ned than I am Brienne. I'm way more Ned than I am Brienne, because Ned's always described as being someone that doesn't talk a lot. He's someone that kind of his name is literally the Quiet Wolf. That is his nickname. I do like that. For me, I think that's way more me than Brienne, because Brienne's just known as being really strong. You know, having really strong values and stuff, and being like a soldier type deal. That's not. I wouldn't say it's me. I think Ned makes way more sense for me. But yeah, let me know if you guys want to see me do another one of these quizzes or what you guys get. They will both be in the description. Let me know what you guys get. I'm curious, because personally, I took these when I was in high school, and I think I got Rob for one. I think one time I got Rob, and the other time I got a Daenerys, which I think Rob makes more sense than Daenerys does. But yeah. Alright, so thank you guys all for watching. I know this was kind of a random video, but I just got the idea to do it, and I wanted to do it. So here we are. Alright, bye guys.